Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi and hello to all of my lovelies, my beauties, my royalties. Take that deep breath. Ooh. Release those Epstein files. No good. Women are the victims in this case. Am I saying women are perfect? No, I am not. But this is a prime example of how so many men get away with injustices and how many men think women are property. Politically, right now, with all of the things they are doing, they are showing how they are just trapping women to the point where they just want us to be traditional women, traditional wives, even though you need to do some research on traditional wives and especially their little happy pill, like the need for the happy pills, and also some of them who escorted themselves to heaven, and yeah, so many mental health issues. Mm, mm. Because a lot of the men only saw the women as property and or a way to like have the next generation and have their children and things, and just even learning the history of how that developed and the marketing for traditional women. They made billboards for this. Yeah yeah They did anything and everything they could to stop women from working and to just look like that pretty little doll. Like I mentioned in the last episode, it's like, oh, for some reason, I kept ending up talking to the black men who only wanted me to, spend more money on my hair and nails and my, like, oh, and my, sometimes they'd be like, oh, my clothing was too white, too, whatever. I wasn't dressing black enough for them or acting black enough, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but anyways, okay, let's get that scorching hot petty tea out. Take an extra sip of the petty sweet tea. And if you like it cold, hold the ice because ice is a hot mess in these streets. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Oh, yeah. And before I forget, because, this is going to go out. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. Yeah. So, I would have mentioned that in earlier episodes, but I didn't. Yeah. Yeah. But to all my lovelies, my beauties in the LGBTQ plus community, I love and cherish and hold you dear. I really do. But okay, let's get part two of this up and together. Because, I left you with, how I ended up with a couple markings around my neck because, well, let's talk about that traditional wives crap, right? And also, there's that one guy who he interviewed for one of the popular news shows or whatever, talking about looks maxing and how he may not be able to have children because of some of the things he did to himself or whatever. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then he ended up interviewing for that no good punk who he had this whole YouTube episode all about how people need to vote for the orange man and how the orange man isn't racist and blah. Okay, Jake Paul, I think he's that one boxer guy or fighter guy, whatever. Yeah, he disgusts me. I can't stand him. To me, he, like, in my opinion, he's a no good, absolutely terrible, despicable, vile bigot. Okay, yeah, that's what I think of him. But yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't care. He doesn't care anything about me. Who am I? Anyway. So yeah, he had that whole, like, I think it was about an hour or longer about the orange man. And it's like, but yeah, now I wonder what he's gonna say now that the Supreme Court is now taking away the black vote and that they're banning more books from by African American authors and they're erasing black history and how Philadelphia had to fight to get it back in its right location and how many like black people did the orange man say had a low IQ? And why did he mention and what is black jobs? It's like there's so many. Oh, and how come the black farmers were not invited to the farmers like group like meeting, and the white people said, "Oh no, that's DEI," when without those two black farmers, everyone else was white in the room. But they want to call it DEI. Why was it DEI when all of the other ones were invited? The only ones that were not invited were the black farmers. Yeah, and there's so many more examples of that, especially, oh yeah, how come in the government with studies and different things, one of the words that you cannot say is black? And then how come so many of the people that work for the Orange Man have been caught with some really racist views, especially like that, like Kennedy Jr. jerk who, yeah, for some reason he was like, okay, if he's not getting any play, if he's not able to, knock things up in the bedroom, why are you gonna mess up those snakes? What, like that snake was doing his thing. Why you had to mess him up? He was doing his thing. He was, helping out his snake population, and then you had to why? Were you a hate? Why you a snake hater? Come on. Okay. Okay. Anyway. But I would never want to talk to Jake Paul because he just, like, again, he disgusts me. But if I had to ask him a question, it would be, okay, what's your opinion now? And I was like, I already know what it is. I mean, maybe I can't say I know for certain what it is, but it's like once you've proven to be a bigot, because remember, just a couple months ago, he was on stage with, I think, his new deodorant or whatever, like promoting and talking big things about the Orange Man. So yeah, if he's still with the Orange Man, yeah, he, in my opinion, without a doubt, bigot. Without a doubt, bigot. So yeah. Okay, but yeah, don't forget, check out my Patreon. I have all the screenshots of the River of Racism, Dating Nightmares, then the Dating Nightmares River of Racism mix. Because yeah, a lot of these white men, what kind of white men want to date an N-word? Do you know how many white men said? Yeah, go check that out. Go check that out. And as a white man with a high school diploma, I know I have to be smarter than you because you're nothing but, because black people aren't capable, and or, oh, the colleges only let you in out of pity. I know you didn't deserve your degree. And I mean, there's so many other examples, but those alone. Mm-hmm. And so that's one reason why, like, okay, some people are gonna not gonna like my opinions, and they're not gonna like how I drag black men, but I drag them because it's like they don't appreciate black women, especially black women that have goals and dreams and aspirations to do like different things that are outside of our stereotypes, because we want to elevate and achieve more so that our younger generations can look and be like, okay, I can do that too, and I can do more, and I can do better, and I can level up. Because, yeah, do you know how many black men that I have met who they're just like, oh, this is my stereotype. I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to try. I'm too this. I'm too dumb. I'm too whatever. I'm like, I'm the stereotype, whatever. But then when I go around and I'm like, no, I'm not the stereotype, then they call me dumb and stupid. Mm hmm. Mm hmm. Mm hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But okay. Okay. With the one guy, yeah, it's like, because I told him, let's just go to a bagel shop or a coffee place. I'm trying to remember the exact place because I love small businesses. And so I told him, let's meet at a small business place or whatever. I think it was a bagel shop because I think I went there before, and they have this, I think it was a triple berry. I know it had raspberries in it, but in the cream cheese. It was some of the most amazing, like, yeah, it was outstanding. But anyways, I wanted to go back there because I'm like, you know what? I can get lunch there, help out the small business, whatever, support them and stuff like that. But Yeah, he lied because at first he was like, "No, I want you in my car. We're gonna drive around, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that." But just like the birthday party, which yeah, that was my dumb. Yeah, I mean, some people might try to blame me. It's like that's your fault for getting. It's like, yeah, like, and that's still that will disgust me. But whatever, whatever. It's like with all of the things that I've been through, and yeah, so we get there to the place or whatever, and I I think I had my laptop with me and other work material because I'm like, yeah, I can work on, I think I was working on the comic book that I wanted to produce and create and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I can work on, like, we can work on our projects and talk. And, because he was talking something about what he was trying to work on. And I told him on the phone, why don't you bring the supplies and we could just work on our projects or whatever. And he was irritated and stuff, but he was just like, fine, if that's the only way I get to see you, then I'm going to see you. And so I'm like, so that's one reason I thought, okay, so we're just going to go. And, but then next thing I know, um, somehow, I'm trying to remember what he did, but he literally forced me to have to go with him. I didn't want to, and I wasn't going to, but somehow he made me. Though this is over 10 years ago, so yeah, I wish I remembered exactly how, but I don't. But now that I think about it, I'm glad I don't remember because I probably would have said it and this would give men ideas because I know I told the library, the study group one, and now part of me is nervous and scared that I just taught men a new way to take advantage of women. And that's scary because part of me I felt like I was helping women, but at the same time it's like because and that's one reason why I will never date any man from prison or that was in prison, whatever again, because a lot of them, they would tell me how prison is basically crime university, and how a lot of the men, they would talk and take notes and they would learn from each other on how not to get caught again. And so, and some of them, they would learn from, like, because they would try to date women who went through that stuff, and they would talk about how they got through it or how they learned from it and stuff. So then they would take notes from those women so that when they got a hold of a new woman, they would know how, like, all the ways that she might get around it and how to beat it and stuff like that. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. And with this jerk, I mean, he never went to prison, but sometimes I'm just like, how did he learn how to be so conniving and just so manipulative and everything? But I remember we were like, yeah, he forced me into the vehicle and he drove me to the ex's house. Yeah. And he even, like, he brought out one of his kids. He was holding the kid. And he yells out, "Look what I can make. Look what I can make. See how beautiful my kids are? See how beautiful? Don't you want to make one? Don't you want one?" And I just remember looking like, what in the world? What in the world? Like, wait, like, I don't even like you. No, like, no, I don't want to make, no. Because if I make one with you, that means I'm stuck with you. I don't want to be stuck with you. And so, like, I'm I'm playing them like I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, yeah. Put the kid back in the house, get back in the vehicle, get this over with, whatever, whatever. But then it's like he keeps yelling this stuff like, look at my kids and oh yeah, I'm a good dad and blah blah blah. And it's just like then the mom comes out or whatever and she sees me and she's like, who the blank is this? Who the blank is this? And I'm just like, what in the world? Like I didn't ask for this and I'm not with him. But if I say I'm not with him, then he's probably going to get really upset. And, like, especially with all the ways he has forced me to do, like, all this stuff before, like, giving the phone number and coming along with them and whatever. It's just, he's, he does not take no for an answer. And with a lot of the true crimes that I've been watching, a lot of these men will not take no for an answer. And or the man acts like they're Prince Charming. And as soon as they have a grip on the woman, and or when the woman finally realizes, oh, he's not safe, he's not good, he's probably gonna harm me. The men are just like, you're mine or nobody else's. It's like you're my property now. And that's kind of the feeling that I got with this guy. And I know I had to figure out how to get away from him. I really had to figure out how I was going to get away from him. Because, okay, once, like, he starts saying, oh, yeah, it's like, isn't she prettier than you? Because, okay, this has really pissed me off. Because she was already upset that I'm in the vehicle or whatever. But then he was like, "Is like, yeah, look at who I have. Look who's in my car. She's prettier than you too. I bet." It's like he was like, yeah. It was like then he looks at his daughter and he was like, "Oh, you're a beautiful princess, but yes, like I know she'll end up making me a better one." Oh my goodness. Part of me, I'm just like, you forced me to come along with you so that you could make your ex-girlfriend, baby mama jealous. And then you had the nerve to say that to your daughter. Ooh, ooh. And like one like I wish at the end I was gonna be able to tell him that I wish his daughter ended up dating someone just like him, but no, I couldn't wish that on anybody because especially if that's what you're gonna tell, say that to your daughter or to the ex or the baby mama, but right with her in his arms, that I can make a better version, I can make a better one. That's what you're gonna say. That's what you're going to say. These people are out their mind. These men. Oh. Mm. So anyway, um, so get back in the vehicle, and that's when he starts talking about how like he wants to make a kid with me soon or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not your girlfriend because I told him that, and I'm glad I wore my seatbelt because he slammed on the brake. That's one reason I have one of the marks on my neck because it like the seatbelt kind of sliced my neck a little bit. It cut my neck. And I remember I was yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he he said that I was his. And um if this is where parts of the church trauma comes because yeah, I've started the yesteryear book, and like a lot of whenever I talk church, Christians don't want to hear it, or they say that I'm lying, or there's no such thing as church trauma or whatever. But I remember when he told me that if God didn't want us to meet that I would have never made it to that party. And because I remember, yeah, I guess another dumb thing I did, like, I told him how, well, yeah, it's like I have a car, but I wasn't gonna, like, I didn't want to draw, like, pay for the parking, and I was trying to save money because I wanted to start saving money for our house or whatever. But then my friend was like, "Oh yeah, we'll take you, whatever." And so he was like, "See, God was trying to make sure you got to the party. God was trying to make sure you met me. God was trying to, like," and he just kept saying that. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, why in the world is God trying to punish me so much? It's like my mom said, as long as you walk like that, no one's ever going to want you, love you, or marry you. But why in the crap do I have to be stuck with this fool? It's like, yeah, it's like no one's going to love me. Like, yeah, this man's not going to love me. He treats me like garbage. Like, I don't want anything to do with him. But anyways, it's like, so then he starts talking about how I'm going to pleasure him. And he starts talking about the CK. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and listen to the last episode. And I tell him no, that I'm not going to allow that. And like, I remember he kept driving, but next thing I know, he goes into like a subdivision and he parks the car. And here's the other mark. Like, this is how I got the bruise on my neck. He puts his hands around my neck really tightly. And he tells me that you're going to learn to like it. And he was like, you're going to learn how to like this. You're a little girl. You need to start acting like a woman. Women know how to blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah. One day, I guess I'll tell the whole story because, yeah, right now I can kind of feel myself starting to get emotional remembering it. And this was over 10 years ago, but it's still. And so, yeah, when people try to tell me, why don't you date black men, and you see you're racist, you won't even play, I tried. This is an example of one of the black men. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah. And so I remember at the end he was like, so you're gonna let me, right? And I didn't say a thing. I just nodded because I was just like, get your hand off me, get your hand off me, get your hand off me. And so he was saying like, oh yeah, so we're gonna drive around, blah blah blah. So I had to make up a reason why I couldn't. And it was like a last minute. He was like, oh, I didn't think you had anything else to do. And I think I was in grad school. So I got to, yeah, he didn't know when my papers or whatever was due. So yeah. And at first he didn't care. He was like, oh, you don't have to pass that. He was like, as long as you're with me, oh yeah, no, I know how to make money. You're not gonna. And I'm like, no, no, this is really important to me. And well, like, I forgot what I was able to complain enough to force him to take me back to the car. Yeah. And so then I forgot where I went, but then I had to figure out a plan to make sure I never saw him again. So yeah, I ignored his phone calls. That was one thing because I know, like, if I did answer, that's when he would threaten or tell me what was gonna happen or do or whatever. And I remember, like, one of my, well, he's not really a friend. The guy whose father, like, okay, this is the guy from college who, after college, he told me that he had a crush on me or whatever, whatever. But yeah, he changed a lot. But he invited me over to watch a movie or whatever. And I'm trying to remember what movie we watched. I think it was like we both like superheroes, so we were like, okay, we'll watch one of those. And I showed his roommate like the first couple chapters of my novel, and I remember she was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! This is cool!" Blah blah blah, whatever. But then, yeah, we hung out or whatever. I drove home. It was terrible weather. It was pouring. Like, the rain was so bad. Like, once I got to the house, I just remember my dad was like, "You drove in that?" You drove in that. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, it was terrible, but yeah, I did. I mean, it's better than snow. So anyway, uh, I I remember that, like, this is the guy who, after that, he, without my permission, gave my number to his father. So because his father thought I was hot, and his father wanted to see if like I would be pleasurable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I've already talked about this story about a year and a half ago. So I would just say, go look that up. Go look that up. But he was a manager at a McDonald's and stuff. So yeah, it's like I started studying at the McDonald's more often because like I was still getting really awful remarks from my mom, like, you're never gonna finish. I know you're not gonna finish. Just like, you're not smart enough. Oh, you're never gonna do anything. You're never gonna accomplish anything in your life. See, it's like, see, no one's gonna hire you. No one's gonna marry you. You're just a waste of time and blah 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 blah. Just imagine that all day. Like, yeah. So I needed to dodge this guy, and I need to finish my grad school. So I started going to the McDonald's on a regular basis or whatever. And this classmate was the manager or whatever. So like, yeah, he was cool with me just being like, I would order stuff, like I would get things off the dollar menu, like maybe a dollar fry, or like getting the beverage or whatever, blah blah blah. So excuse me, so I wasn't just sitting there for free. Okay, so the scariest thing happened because I remember like like the guy from college, he is a smoker or whatever. Like, yeah. And so he asked me, "Oh, you want to come out and we can talk or whatever?" Because he was like, "Yeah, you deserve a break. Come get you some sunlight or whatever." And I'm like, "You know what? You're right." Because I think I was studying for like 2 hours straight or whatever. And so we're outside of the McDonald's in the front or whatever talking. And I think one of the other coworkers was out there too. So we're just chatting and everything like that. Guess who comes through the drive through? Guess who comes through the drive through? You already know who's coming through the drive through. Guess who is staring me up and down? Like, when he drives by, he slows down. Like, the car behind, you could tell that they were about to honk because he was going so slowly looking at me. And even my friend, the manager, he was like, "Oh, why are you looking at you like that? Is he checking you out or blah?" And I was, oh my gosh, my heart stopped. I was just like, ew, no, oh my gosh, okay. And I was like, do I just go back inside or whatever? But I was like, you know what? I'm outside in public right next to these other two people. Okay, so I should be okay and stuff. But yeah, he was right there. And he, like, oh, but that's okay. That's not all though. Because I thought he was gone. Next thing I know, I realized that he's went around to where there was like a Chinese food place and a couple, like a cell phone store or whatever, like in the parking lot and over. He went and parked his car over there looking at me. Looking at me. Just, yes. And it was just like, okay, when are you going to leave? Even after I went back inside, his car is still there. He is still just sitting there. Would not leave. We need to do something with these men out here. The mental health, the like how some of them think we're property. Since, like, do you know how many men have even told me that, yeah, the only reason they want to date me is so they can impregnate me? And or since I'm single or whatever, some men are just like, I don't want to date you. I just want to pump a baby in you. Go look at the Patreon. Go look at the Patreon. I have so many screenshots, so much evidence. It's disgusting, really. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.